Check, check, check. Check, check.
Hello? No, but when a little bit, it just echoes a little, but not. Are they on though? One, two. Test, 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 test. One, two. Buckle my shoe. Sorry.
We're going to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Venus Independent School District on August 19, 2024.
It's not in presentation mode. Good evening, President Gore, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Torres. I am here to present the public hearing on the 24-25 budget and the 2024 tax rate. Okay, we're ready to get started, so we can go to the next slide. So 24-25, these are our general fund assumptions. These are assumptions that we use to forecast the budget. So we're using an average daily attendance rate of 2,114. So just a reminder that this is the average daily attendance. We budget on enrollment, but we receive state revenue on ADA. Taxable value increase of 12% is slightly lower than previous projected, but we did receive our certified values on July 25th, and there was a little bit higher than estimated number of protests there, but that had been consistent. It was a little higher than last year, but when we went back and reviewed the numbers, it made sense. We did have a meeting at the Cleveland Courthouse a few months ago, and that was consistent with what they thought might come out. A total tax rate of 1.1784, that includes the INS rate and the M&O rate. Tax collections at 98%. So you do know we receive a little bit higher than 98%, but we budget for conservative reasons. We budget at 98 for conservative reasons. Position reductions or attrition approximately saves the budget about $350,000. We can go to the next. So this is the history of the Venus ISD tax rate. So you can see from 23 to the 24 proposed, and it doesn't really reflect there, but it is a very small decrease in tax rate, and that's due to state compression. So we are, with our taxable value increases year over year, we are at the floor of the tax rate. So we follow along with, I think it's a little more than 80% of the districts who are at the floor, and we're about there with them. Just due to our taxable value increases. And we're remaining at 43 cents for our INS budget. So just some notes and some reminders, some updates. We did have some uncertainties with our SHARS revenue. This was an issue that was all over the state, and it was due to continued effects of the statewide reduction to reimbursements due to incorrect state agency sampling. So this was not anything that was a result of practices at Venus ISD. This was a direct result of practices through the state agency. And so we did receive a reduction there. We have not been given the amount that we're expected to receive, but we have a hearing set for August the 27th, and we'll be preparing to submit the information there and hopeful that we'll have a positive outcome from there. Just keep in mind that any increase in overall attendance counts will positively affect revenue. And as we work through these first few weeks of school and start to get an idea of what our ADA is going to be, then we'll likely come back to the board in October to review the revenue at that time in preparation for the snapshot in our information that's delivered to PEEMS for our fall submission. We're still working through our TASB claim, roofing claim. This has been going on for multiple years. The reason I want to make sure we understand that is we do pay the expenses for the claims, and then we receive reimbursement. So it's possible we could receive an expense in 1 year and the revenue reimbursement in the next year. And so we want to make sure that any year-over-year changes are understood. So we could be reporting some deficits in this year that are due to the expense, but we will receive the revenue in the next fiscal year. Unfortunately, we did receive a revenue loss of $192,000 from the prison. We mentioned that in our prior board meeting. This prison was taken over by the state, and the state is not, they do not have to pay property taxes, and so unfortunately we lost that there. And we are going to be receiving the revenue for the sale of property that the board approved several meetings ago, and we'll receive that after September 1st, so it will be reflected in the next budget year. And then we're bringing tonight some TASB insurance increases for Huckabee bond and Huckabee bond planning costs, and they're now included in the proposed budget. Those are the only two changes that you have seen to the expenses from the last time we met. And some updates on child nutrition. We had positive year-end results for our first year of CEP, so we were very happy to see those results. We're starting a planned capital expenditures timeline so that we can understand the useful life of our capital equipment and have a better plan on how we replace those items and understand that going forward. We're working on new meal options. Ms. McCormick presented some of those ideas at a past presentation, and she's working to add some other ideas there. And then we're looking at quantities of our snack bar items to make sure that we have those items available for all lunch periods. The debt service fund, we had a planned defeasance. The board approved a defeasance in August of 2023 to use some unused fund balance in the debt service fund. And due to that, the board's decision there, we were able to save $688,990 in interest savings over the life of some of our bonds. We will be bringing a resolution tonight for future defeasance to result in additional savings. This is the function budget for the general fund, the child nutrition fund, and the debt service fund, and the year-over-year changes are listed below. This is an example of the budget that I'll be asking you later on in the agenda to adopt by function. And then continued planning for fiscal year 25. We're just doing a lot of work on initiating processes, ensuring our student counts are accurately reported. A lot of work, continue planning and firming up processes for use of federal funds, digging in line by line, budget monitoring and efficiency, consistently executing our processes. We created a new process manual, and we're working to get that pushed out and trained, and then regular updates to the board for transparency as we go through the year. So that's what you can expect from me for next year. And that's the end of the presentation.
Anybody have any questions? Are there any questions? No? We'll go to item number 3 and adjourn the public hearing. We'll now go to item number 4, call to order of the regular called board meeting. And we do have a quorum at 6:08 p.m. And if everyone would please stand. Greg, would you lead us in the invocation, please? We would like to welcome all of our guests here tonight. Rosie, did we have anybody sign up? We'll go to item number 8, campus reports.
How about now? Good afternoon. It did not take long for the high school to get busy. So we started off the year with our student enrollment at about 700. I think we're at 704 today. Currently, we've had about 40 new students new to the district, and we have about 5 with no English. And I think that trend is going to be prevalent throughout the year as it goes on. So you're going to hear a little bit about that, more about that. We had our cheerleaders go over to the other campuses as a welcome back to school. They're ready for the new year, so we're ready for the new year. That's a squad that has come together with new leadership with Ms. Cassell, and we're going to be all right. They're making it fun for us. The next thing is we have 7 mindsets. We kicked off our second week of 7 mindsets, and going through room to room and visiting with the students, they see it as something different. They told me it wasn't really school. So that was a different kind of perspective I wasn't expecting, but I think the lifelong lessons is something that they are interested in. We just need to get past some of our connectivity issues with mindset. We had a little difficulty again today, but most of the students were able to log on, but some were not. So the teachers improvised and they just put it up on the board. They had paper ready to go, and Ms. Fudge has us up and going. So I do like it. I think it's valuable. In most tutoring sessions, you give something to the student and they write it down, and they either get it back or the teacher keeps it. With 7 mindset, it keeps it in the program. So you go back later on and the student can do a self-reflection to see what they wrote, or maybe a different assignment on self-reflection on a growth piece. So that's one aspect I do like about it. Mentors care. We, is there another picture? I think we're out of, uh-oh. Okay, mentors care. The custodial staff got busy with the help of Mr. Gatewood. We went through, we looked at the closet and pulled everything out of there, what used to be our paper room. I can't believe the transformation. It's actually a very good office now. She has furniture, the ceiling's been upgraded, the floor had a good cleaning, and the paint job's all in, and she has organized very, very well. We are looking for mentors, and I know she has 2 or 3 that have been accepted, and today the teacher started selecting kids to go into that program. So that was much needed, you know, so that these kids, some of these kids don't fall through the cracks. Volleyball. Volleyball is up and running. We have a new coach. She has taken on that position. She seems to be making it fun for the kids and learning. She's learning with them as well as they're learning. I don't think we're going to be in a situation where those kids give up. So that's the one thing I do like about that team coming together. And then we had senior night, or senior parent night. And you don't have a picture, but Ms. Shaw is our senior sponsor, and she had a packed house. So she went over dues, expectations, trips, and we're much farther this year than we are on dues and planning for different activities as we go through. So it's coming together quickly. Our upcoming events, we start map testing tomorrow, and we'll be on lockdown where they go to 3rd period. And then Thursday night, we have Meet the Bulldog. So our JV and varsity will go up against Mildred, and then we'll have the southbound twins, and then we'll have the Meet the Bulldog as usual. Thank you.
Sorry, I thought Warren was going to present mine. Absolutely. All right. So busy start at the middle school. So teachers did a lot of PD training this summer. We did 7 mindsets training, and teachers said to me, best training they had ever been to. So that was good. And we're in week 2, like Mr. Camacho said, and the kids are loving it and the teachers are loving it. So that's great. When I filled this out, I still had an open teaching position. I no longer do. He started today, so that was fabulous. We did do a 6th grade schedule pickup. We have parents come the end of 5th grade, tour the building and everything, but we did a 6th grade schedule pickup, let them walk around, see where their classes were. And that was an amazing turnout. We hadn't done that in the past, and we had all 6, there was like 22 kids that didn't come out of the entire 6th grade. So that was exciting. We have had grade level meetings. We meet with each grade level, talk about expectations, opportunities for them. And so we've had all 3 of those grade level meetings in the first week. We have our first volleyball game Thursday night. Apparently that's not a Meet the Bulldog. So we have that Thursday night. I think we have boys athletics parent meeting tonight, girls athletic parent meeting tomorrow night. So lots of things happening. On the bottom of mine, it says current enrollment is 489. When I first filled it out, it was 470. By the time I had to turn it in, it was 489. I looked this morning, it's now 498. So growing a lot every single day. So school pictures are coming up. That's always a big deal. All better get their smile on and their fancy clothes. And then lots of games starting. So we did our first day of map testing today, and we will do one tomorrow and then another one on Thursday. So. There you go.
Okay, so at the time that I wrote this, or right before this, all of our positions at VES had been filled. When I wrote this report, we were at 647 for enrollment, and I want to say we're a little over 650 right now. And I was going to bring the Spirit Stick with me because we won the Spirit Stick at Convocation, and the cheerleaders came and took it back and said I couldn't keep it. My teachers wanted me to bring it to every admin meeting. Anywhere I went that the other admin were present, they wanted me to take the Spirit Stick. So that was the plan. We even hid the Spirit Stick. But we had a very tenacious cheerleader, whose mom also works at our campus, who found the Spirit Stick. So it is back in the hands of Mr. Camacho and his staff. But they were super excited about that because they're like, we never win anything. So they said, please put our picture in the board report. I said, of course we will. So they are in there. Meet the Teacher was a great success. I did not get very many pictures because I was busy being a door holder and greeting parents, but we had every hallway was full. The parking lot was full. The street was full. Anytime there's an event at the elementary, there's no parking anywhere around our campus. So we were full. And I had added some extra pictures in there, but I guess Rosie had probably already sent it because I did it the next day. On the first day, we were able to have the high school cheerleaders come out, and Laura Price was able to get a picture of them. So they were greeting all of our students that came in from buses. And then we had some auxiliary staff also come over, and they were also greeting students and parents and helping direct them to which hallway to go to. So that was great. And okay, my other pictures didn't make it in there. But we've had a great start to school, and we're looking forward to a wonderful year.
All right, I know ours is pretty short. Let's see. I just checked, we're now at 379. So our kindergarten group is a little smaller than usual. But we do have 3 bilingual classes for kindergarten and then 2 for pre-K that are significantly big. So our EB program is growing. So that's great for us to be able to support them. It's been a great school year so far. We're on week 3. It's fun. I'm tired. I could go home and fall asleep right now. But it's been fun. It's been exciting. We welcome parents into school on the first day of school, and that was fantastic and went a lot smoother than I thought. And so it makes me know that we can do it successfully. and safely. So it's exciting for us, and we are going to open lunches, I believe, September 3rd to parents. So there is some restrictions, but we're super excited to have parents in the building. In fact, tonight we met with our PTO. We reestablished it, and we had about 15 parents. Started at 5, and they are still going. So that is fantastic. So really working on building community relationships at the primary. And then, like the others said, 7 mindsets, PLCs, great things are happening, and ensuring that our culture is always continuing learning and growing. So we're just excited for the rest of the year. Thank you.
Go to item number 9, third quarter investment report.
Board of Trustees and Dr. Torres, so I'm bringing you the third quarter investment report, March 1st through May 31st. So pursuant to the requirements of Texas Government Code 2256.023, the attached quarterly investment report is presented for the board's review. These details are as of May 31st, 2024, and the investments made during this time period. This report covers were in compliance with the district's written investment policies and strategies and their relevant provisions. This is a summary analysis of all of our current pools. You can see our general operating pools, our beginning balances and ending balances there. We currently operate under the General Fund, Tex Pool, Lone Star Corporate Overnight Plus Fund, and Government Overnight Fund. And there's been no changes in these funds set up since the last presentation. You can see our general operating investment totals and our year-to-date interest. Interest in sinking and food service are there as well to show our grand totals in all of our investment funds to date. And this is a summary description, and then the preceding pages discuss the pools in detail. We can go down to the next, so these are the overnight funds, the authorized investments that are made under these funds, and this is the updated information as of May 31st. And are there any questions?
Okay, thank you. We'll go to item number 10, preliminary energy assessment report. Mr. Gatewood.
Good evening, everybody. The district conducted a preliminary energy assessment May 22nd through May 24th. This service was provided at no cost to Venus ISD. During that, it identified some measures that we could cut our energy cost from an annual savings of $80,334.32 to a high of $191,241 annually, depending upon the utility cost measures we select as a district. During the assessment, the utility cost measures that were identified, number 1 was the lighting retrofit. Currently, there's only one campus that has all LED lights. That is the high school. The majority of them, this is a hodgepodge mix of fluorescent lights and LED lights. Example, LED lights, you get 50,000 to 100,000 hours. Fluorescent lights, 7,000 to 15,000 hours. So that's quite a savings there, just switching out the lights. Next is lighting control. All of our campus don't have automatic lighting control that shut off automatically when the room is empty. That was one suggestion also. One of the biggest suggestions that was brought to my attention walking around looking at the HVAC equipment. Some of our HVAC equipment, example on that the middle school is quite old. It's dated from 1997, and some of it runs on R22, which is Freon. It was suggested that we swap those things out and replace them because they don't run very efficiently. And also R22, Freon is no longer available in the United States. And only way we can get it in service that day with our technicians if we salvage it from recycled air conditioners that utilize that particular R22. There was a water heater replacement suggestion at the primary school. That was just it was kind of out of service there. That's at the primary school. You'll see on that there. Primary school, they suggested that we replace the water heater. The plumbing fixtures, each school pretty much needed plumbing fixtures replaced there. They wanted to go to the retrofit them with the low flush valves. We currently don't have them at our campus there to save some water on those low flush valves. As you can see up there, that's just a roundabout picture of what what they suggested. We don't have to take all these suggestions. We can a la carte it and pick which ones we want. Even if we want to go with the high-end version, you can go with the solar system, which I know Ms. Mayo was suggested, said it would be cool if we had a solar system out back behind the admin building, but I don't know if we want to go that high. Again, these are just suggestions. We don't have to go with any of it. We can pick and choose what we would like to select. The biggest thing going through this inspection allowed us to qualify for the Texas Lone Star program. The Texas Lone Star program, it gives out low interest rates. Our rate can either be 1.5% or it could be 2.5%, and we pay back the loan over a 12 to 15-year period with these savings. Again, we don't have to take all the suggestions. We can pick and choose which ones we want to select, but it does allow us access to those low interest loans. That is the only way we can get those loans there. Next steps is to call them out, get together with them. As the last steps, get together with them and figure out what direction we want to go as a district. Then we'll come back to the board and present what we have decided and bring a suggestion to you for your approval. That is where we're at right now. Are there any questions?
Any questions? No. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll go to item number 11, executive session at 6:27 p.m. to cover 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, 551.082, and 551.0821. number 12, reconvene from executive session at 7:38 PM. Go to item number 13, consent agenda. Did anybody have any questions on anything for the consent agenda? No? Motion by Greg. We have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Amber. The motion, all in favor? Motion carries. 6. Go to item number 14. Consider approval of SHAC committee report. Mr. Gatewood?
Good evening again. As you know, the SHAC committee, we're required to meet 4 times a year. And up there we have the meetings that we met 4 times this year: October 4th, January 24th, March 20th, and last time, May 29th. Rosie, can you come up a little bit? Okay, we had a couple of updates we want to talk about here. One of the things we discussed during the last meeting at the SHAC, we wanted to increase alignment and communication with the Venus local community. So we did send out requesting some volunteers to join our committee. So you'll see that going forward in the next year. So that's one of the things we want to discuss here, one of the updates. So there'll be a bigger collaborative piece with the local community. We do have several members that will be joining us, and our next meeting will be September 11th. We did send out a different membership application. We had 16 people apply to volunteer to serve on the committee, and we did choose those individuals, so we'll be notifying them shortly. We had some goals there. Some of the goals, it's going to cover a few. One of the goals was the district's food service and staff, teachers, and other district personnel should consistently promote healthy nutritional messages on campuses here. Evidence that there are a little bit of evidence. We displayed menus and posters on each campus and posted menus, nutrition nuggets, and links to nutrition websites on our district webpage. Another goal was the district should provide an environment that fosters safe and enjoyable developmental appropriate physical fitness activities that's separate from our athletics. Some evidence that we did: each campus provided opportunities for students to participate in physical activity outside, such as PE classes or competitive sports. Examples: daily recess, jump rope for heart. Another goal we had on there: the district should promote employee wellness activities and involvement at suitable district and campus activities. We hosted shot clinics, such as our B12 and lipo shots, and we also offered health screening and provided vision, dental, and health insurance for employees. Okay, what you'll see here, if you look at this here, it's just I posted the agendas that was on the meetings for October 4th. Scroll down a little further, Rosie. Keep going. Also the agenda for the 31st. And they were pretty standard. These were the ones prior to me arriving. Okay, March 20th, pretty much the same thing. We switched it up a little bit. March 29th. That was the last one we held. We had the standard call to order and announcement of a quorum. We welcomed our guests. We did have some guests there. The big change you'll see, we had some action items on that one. We had Johnson County, and they came and they presented the Child Advocacy Center. They presented a program called the Monique Burr Foundation. We haven't brought that to you for action yet. Reason being, before we roll a program like that out, we have to give the opportunity for the community to view it at least 2 times before we bring it here to the school board. Just a educational program that talks about different types of child trafficking, different things like that there for safety measures. But we do have to give the community the opportunity to view that twice, and I wanted to wait till we get the new committee members on board to bring that to you. We also talked about TA's iWatch program. This is a program that Governor Abbott rolled out in 2022. Deals with reporting bullying, any unsafe activities. We'll also bring that to you later on once we get the new members on board, to bring that to you for your approval. I also listed the SHAC meeting recordings. They're required to record them. I was able to find 3 online, so I did post them there on the SHAC meeting recordings. And at the end, I listed the projected SHAC meeting dates for the next school year, September 11th, November 13th, February 12th, and April 9th. Again, these are tentative projected meeting dates. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the SHAC committee report.
A motion by Amber. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Randall. All in favor? Motion carries. Go to item number 15, consider approval of the good cause exemption option to House Bill 3. Yeah. Guarding us.
So this good cause exemption is just for the starting this year. Now that we have officers hired, and we can move into with this document, just stating if an officer is missing due to training or out sick or some other court date or something else, that we will then put one of the other officers to continue going back and forth to that campus from their assigned campus.
Anybody have any questions? Do we have a motion? A motion by Amber. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries. Go to item number 16, consider approval of Venus ISD's 24-25 Basic Emergency Operation Plan and newly created Venus ISD Cybersecurity Annex. Do you have a presentation, or are we good to?
No, it's
okay,
what was
okay.
talked to. Yep.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the Venus ISD 24-25 Basic Emergency Operation Plan and newly created Venus ISD Cybersecurity Annex.
A motion by Amber. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 17, consider approval of the annual compensation plan for the 24-25 school year. Mr. Martinez.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Torres. So we are presenting the annual compensation plan for approval for the district. I know you had received the packet, and hopefully you had an opportunity to go through the information. At this time, there is nothing that is changing from the previous school year, and knowing that this was our first complete year on a 4-day work week. So the presentation is, and the plan has been presented to you.
Did anybody have any questions? No. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion by Joe. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Amber. All in favor? Motion carries. Go to item number, just messed me up. 18, consider approval of the 24-25 budget.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. Dr. Torres, I'm here to present for adoption the 2024-2025 budget as presented in the public forum earlier in the meeting. You'll see attached to this budget, as required by education code, the tax rate calculation worksheet is here added as an appendix to the budget.
Anybody have any questions? No? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 budget.
Motion by Amber, second. No. Motion by Kirby, second by Amber. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 19, consider approval of resolution of the board to set tax.
I'm presenting here the approval of resolution of the board to set the Venus ISD tax rate for 2024-2025 as presented earlier in the public forum. The administration recommends adoption to set the tax rate at 1.1784. And there's a motion to be said if
Do we have a motion?
in your packet.
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 1.17840, which is effectively a 6.10% increase in the tax rate.
Motion by Kirby, a second by, do we have a second? By Amber, all in favor? Motion carries.
And Madam President?
Yes.
Just for the record, even though that says a 6.10%, we are actually decreasing the tax rate. For those folks out there that are watching. Yes.
Okay.
So the tax rate is going down from what it was last year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yep. That's good to hear. We'll go to item number 20, consider proposed tax rate for Hill College Venus ISD.
Yes, good evening again. So we're bringing to you, the rules are a little different for a small taxing entity like Hill College. So we are required to consider a proposed tax rate for Hill College. So we're bringing you a proposed tax rate. If approved tonight, then we will publish in the newspaper according to requirements and bring back for adoption in September. So we are proposing a 2024-2025 tax rate of 0.039327. For Hill College, and we do have Ms. Ferguson here with Hill College if there's any specific programmatic questions regarding Hill College.
Did anybody have any questions? No? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed tax rate for Hill College.
Motion by Amber, do we have a second? Second by Greg. All in favor? Motion carries. Item 21, consider approval of TASB insurance renewal.
Hey, good evening again. We're bringing the annual TASB insurance renewal. This is consistent with what we approved last year, but we did discuss that going through next year we are going to start just reviewing all information out there. But for this year, we're going to look at this TASB insurance renewal. These are the same items that we currently have for property, auto liability, auto physical damage, school liability, privacy and information security, violent acts, workers' comp, and total contribution is $495,959. If you look at the details here, the largest increase, just for you to know, for year over year was about $90,000, and it was in the property area. We did see some reductions in some of the other specific line items. For example, workers' comp went down a slight bit. The privacy insurance went down just a slight bit, but property increased $86,792. Sorry, I said 90, but it was 86,000. And that's why we are going to review RFP going forward to make sure that we're getting the best price for our insurance in the future.
Anybody have any questions? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the TASB insurance renewal.
I'll second.
Motion by Randall, second by Amber. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 22, consider approval order authorizing redemption of outstanding bonds of the Venus Independent School District.
Yes, so we're bringing this, we discussed this earlier also in the budget presentation. Last year, the board made a move to approve a defeasance of callable bonds. We're asking again to review a resolution to do that again this year. So basically, just simply what we're asking to do is, because our taxable values are increasing and we're increasing the revenue in our debt service side, this is an opportunity for us to take any remaining available fund balance to buy down any callable bonds. And what that does is it reduces our debt, outstanding debt, as well as saves interest because we're able to pay that earlier. We save the interest that we would have otherwise had to pay. What that does is help increase our bond capacity for future considerations. And so this is a smart, a fiscal move made by the board to consider this. This is within counsel of our current bond counsel and with the suggestions of our financial advisors. This is not an approval to definitely defease the bonds. We can speak again about this in the spring. We had a presentation this past spring to update the board, and it was agreed to move forward because it was in the best interest of the district. I'll bring that back to you in the spring again to make sure that everyone is in agreement before we move forward. But this does give us an opportunity to do that if it makes sense.
Do we have any questions? No? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve authorization redemption of outstanding bonds for Independence School.
Motion by Amber, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries. Go to item 23, consider approval of Region 11 MOU Texas Instructional Leadership.
Yes. Again, I am here. So we are asking to consider approval. So the Effective School Framework Grant allows us grant funding and an opportunity to partner with Region 11 for Texas Instructional Leadership. The TIL is a cohort model for district and campus leader teams. The cohort members engage in an intentional coaching model that provides the campus leadership teams and principal managers with research-based practices used to increase student achievement. Dr. Morgan is here if you would like to have any additional programmatic questions answered. The funding is $37,000 and it comes from the Effective School Framework Grant.
Anybody have any questions? No? Do we have a motion?
I do.
Oh,
Is that for our interns, or the ones that we've, or is that for all administrators?
No, sir, this is for the high school as a result of their identification as comprehensive support needed.
Thank
And
you.
so the entire campus administration team will participate.
any other questions? No? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Region 11 MOU Texas Instructional Leadership.
A motion by Kirby, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Amber. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 24, consider approval of the Stovall Corporation.
Yes, so last board meeting, Ms. Tubbs did a presentation and discussed the needed repairs and updates to our fuel pumps. So this is in response to that discussion. So this is the approval for Stovall Corporation and fuel controls and tank upgrades. This is going to be purchased out of the general fund, and we had discussed it. Some of the funds are currently in this budget year, but because we couldn't get it completed by August 31st, we are likely going to ask for a budget amendment in the next fiscal year to bring the funds out of fund balance to cover this, but we can have that that discussion then. But these are needed repairs, and Ms. Tubbs is here to answer any more specific questions about those fuel pumps.
Did anybody have any questions on this? No? Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Joe. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 25, consider approval of May 2025 bond planning and bond information campaign services.
So we're bringing to you tonight the approval for Huckabee and Associates, Inc. for our bond planning services. So we have worked with Huckabee in the past and have a very positive relationship, and we do believe that they are offering us this great service at a reasonable price to our district. Based on information that we talked about in our last budget meeting, that we're procuring these bond services from Huckabee based on demonstrated competence and a reasonable fee in accordance with Government Code 2254.003. The lump sum of $29,500 for all services outlined in our billing phase is a reasonable fee for this engagement. You can see the contract documentation there that lines out what the expectations are and what we are agreeing for with Huckabee. And Mr. Mason is here if you have additional questions.
Anybody have any questions? No? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the May 25 bond planning and bond information
Amber, do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 26, consider approval of final budget amendments.
And last but certainly not least, the final budget amendments. So the budget amendments presented here will be the expectations for the end of the fiscal year. I just want to highlight for the general fund that this, if you'll scroll down to the bottom, we have our current proposed impact is 1.16 as a deficit to our fund balance. But please keep in mind that this does not represent any expected salary savings that we are accustomed to seeing due to vacancies throughout the year. And this also does not include any expected non-payroll saves. So once the final audit comes out, we do expect to see that number to be more favorable to the district. But this does include the loss in revenue that we shared, and which is why it is higher than we had previously presented. Once we get the information from the audit, we'll be bringing that report to the board to see how we finish this fiscal year.
Do we have any questions? No. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve final budget amendments.
Motion by Kirby. Do we have a second? Second by Greg. All in favor? Motion carries. We do not have anything for item number 27, correct? No, okay. Got item number 28, reports.
Yeah, just want to say we have had 2 really good weeks, hit the ground running. Kids are back. We're starting to get into routines, as you heard earlier from the campuses and their reports, just all the things that are happening so quick and so fast. And we're going fast, but we're super excited to have our kids back. As I said, getting in routines, and we're just really, really excited about this year. All the activities are kicking in, and just all the things that happen in a district all the way from pre-K to the high school. So we're just super excited about that. And August is almost come and gone, and September will be here soon, and it just keeps going fast. Never a dull or boring moment, but a blessing to be here with all of our kiddos and our staff. Everybody's working really hard, and it's already been off to a great start for this year, and looking forward to it. Anything, Mr. Gatewood?
Okay, just wanted to let you guys know I did promise you a quote from SSC. Tammy Reed from SSC Cleaning Service did conduct a walkthrough on August 15th, so I'll be bringing you next month and a quote for a cleaning service going forward, so we can compare it to what we're paying now with the Fault Company. So she did complete that last week, and I wanted to let Ms. Crafton know, per direction of Dr. Torres, I am meeting with Hill College tomorrow, Ms. A. Commando, to talk about the cosmetology that you emailed us about. So I'll have more information next month on that also. Okay.
Can I ask for an update on the after-school meals? Where are we at with that? The one that we talked about last board meeting?
Yes, ma'am. The update on the after school will begin after Labor Day. Yes, ma'am.
And I have a question. Did we ever get any information back from the ESS to whoever you were looking at with the 90-something% people in the school? Yeah.
Oh, the sub-program, that was,
Oh. Oh, there we go, okay.
Yes, we're still looking at information. They've been giving me more data and prices and things like that to look at, so we're still reviewing that. If we decided to move forward, it would be where we would look at a request for proposals from the companies so that it could be brought to the board for consideration. But there's some very encouraging information that I'm seeing, so I'm going to be setting up some meetings with some districts that are utilizing some of these services. And just as another note, I've already set up meetings with our current provider to start meeting on a monthly basis and going over and monitoring our progress and goals. Thank you.
Go to item number 29, board requests for additional items. Anybody have any requests for any additional items for our next board meeting?
When is that convention date?
27th, 26th, 27th, 28th, I believe.
Yeah,
September.
27, 28, 29. Yeah, Friday, Saturday,
If
Sunday.
we're checking in the May the
Check in on the
26th, if you can.
26th, yes, we can, the
Otherwise, the
conferences
conference
start
is
early.
27th through 29th.
Yeah.
I know, because I've asked 3 times.
Put it in your
Maybe
calendar.
answered you 3 times.
I keep forgetting
I
that.
sent it to you.
Anybody else have anything?
Said you're gonna be there.
And then our next scheduled board meeting is September the 16th. And we will go to item number 30, and we will adjourn at 8:03 PM.